Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Wanted to jump on here real quick and look at some news that people have been talking about. Msty, kind of their experience on X. Kind of wanted to go through a couple different tweets and kind of bring some light to some various investors and their experience so far. So this first tweet I'm looking at is from William Next Level. His @ name is William Next Level 1. Definitely go check his page out. Msty dividend has been declared. So I think this was about a week ago. He tweeted this, $4.42. Pretty massive. People were pretty excited about that. But this is something that I was not aware of. It is the largest dividend in the stock market. That's pretty incredible. I was unaware of that, but it makes sense. $4.42 on a monthly basis is a massive dividend when you look at it over 12 months. My number one stock pick for 2024 is absolutely crushing it. And absolutely, if you've managed to invest in Msty this entire stock, I guess it's an ETF, but I think X normally, okay, so they're not going to show me the chart, but needless to say, it's been crushing it this year. But this guy has 7,200 shares of it, and he's going to receive a distribution of $31,000. Keep in mind, this is monthly income, so he's literally making, over $300,000 per year from this one fund, and he's getting paid $31,000 per month. Obviously, so $7,200, or I'm sorry, say if his average cost was 40 times 7,200, obviously he's investing $288,000, so a lot of capital, but he's still making $31,000 a month. So pretty crazy there. Not financial advice, but just kind of wanted to look at some other people and what their experience has been with YieldMax. I'm sure there's been good, I'm sure there's been bad, but Msty so far year to date has been pretty massive. This guy says, I want to invest $100K in Msty for the same reason, but I'm my pants, and someone convince me, please. Obviously this past week, let me see if I can pull up a chart on this other window. Msty ETF. It's now currently trading for $33.94. So a massive sell-off from where it was. Let's look at it over here. The past 5 days it's down 22.41%. Past month it's actually up 15.25%. Yeah, so do with that as you will. It's still up 60% year to date from a price return. But do keep in mind, if we use totalrealreturns.com, which I think their website might actually be down. No, it's not. Okay. So if we look up MSTY, okay, yeah, they are having an issue with their website, so I'm not going to be able to look up this data here. But, yeah. But I think it's closer to almost 200% with their dividends reinvested. They have price return of 60%. But like I said, I think it's closer to 200. But don't quote me on that because I can't factually confirm that right now. I do have another resource for a calculator that shows you pretty much the total return, including dividends distributed and reinvested. If you have another one, feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. But yeah, I think that's going to be it today. We just kind of wanted to look at a success story for someone that has invested into this high income ETF and is living or benefiting from some of these massive distribution payments. And this guy had 7,200 shares. So he's getting a hefty payout every single month. So, as you can see with the data right here, it's not been around real long, ever since April. April looks like we skipped May because that's when they switched. It's crazy. It's been that long since they've switched the distribution payments. Maybe I'm off on that. Maybe they switched it later. It seems like a long time, May until now. But, yeah, that doesn't seem right. It could be. If it is, let me know down below. Please roast me. But no, yeah, so there's not been a lot of data. $4, $4, if they can consistently pump out $4, I think the investors are going to be very happy and they're going to continually invest into this fund. But if it starts to drop off pretty significantly, pretty much anything under than $1, I think is viewed as, in many investors' eyes, unsuccessful, and they're not really happy about it. I know they've been implementing new strategies such as spreads and stuff like that. I think that kind of helps out with the capital appreciation for, or the NAV erosion per se, for some of their funds, so they can still participate in some of that upside. Well, the cool thing about YieldMax is they're coming out with some other funds as well that are more capital appreciation based, and those are the Target 12 funds. So you can see that right here. They have Target 12 ETFs, which is BIGY, and then they have, I think it's SOXY. Those are going to be their more aggressive as far as upside goes. So they're not probably going to sell. They're still going to sell calls and sell premium, but it's going to be a little bit further out of the money. I think if we go all the way down here, we can actually see some of their positions that they currently have for this BIGY fund. Yeah, so here's Apple. Looks like they actually, and the difference with this as well, they actually hold the underlying. So you will get dividends distributed from these funds. Apple doesn't have much of a dividend, but AbbVie definitely does. They pay a pretty healthy dividend. Abbott's like a 2%. And so on. Pretty much there's going to be 50 large cap stocks, some that pay dividends, some that don't. But like I mentioned here, they're almost creating some type of synthetic call spread here. They're selling I don't know what Apple's at right now, but I think it's ran up a good bit. But yeah, so they're selling covered calls out of the money. I'm pretty sure this was out of the money whenever they originally initiated the position. And then they're also buying a long call, so that if this does get breached, they still will participate on some of that upside there. So it looks like they got a call spread pretty wide. So, it's not real. It's definitely capital efficient. I think that's their reasoning there. But needless to say, this is kind of their strategy. It looks like that they're trying to implement across the board on some of their funds there. So, but anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this quick little video. Kind of wanted to just look at someone's experience on X and kind of just elaborate on that and see how they've been using this fund. He didn't go real into detail too much if he's just reinvesting the fund at this time. Would be interested to see. He's getting $31,000 a month. What are you doing with that capital now? Are you reinvesting it? Are you deploying it into other YieldMax funds? Are you deploying it into direct assets such as NVIDIA or whatever, such as Mr. in this case MSTR? But the thing with MSTR is there's going to be a huge amount of volatility, and I think we've kind of MSTR here. It's been rocking and rolling. Down 27% in 5 days. Looks like it. This is the peak of okay. So it says 473, but it was actually a little bit higher than that. It was 542. So it just hit its 52-week high, and it sold off pretty significantly after hitting that. Over 27%. So there's a lot of volatility with this fund. It's very Bitcoin based and leverage added on top of that. So, if that matches your risk appetite and something you want to invest into long term, MSTR is something you can look at. MSTY is something you can look at. If you want to see leveraged funds, there's MSTX. That is Defiance's daily target of MSTR, but it's 2x leveraged. It's up a decent amount this year. I think they must have started it. Yeah, they didn't start it till August. So going on almost 3 months, and it's up almost 400%. That's insane. MSTZ, it's the inverse. If you think it's overvalued right now and it's going to come back, this fund is now 95% year to date. Looks like it started out at $25, and it has tanked all the way down to below $1. Yeah, 81 cents. Looks like since November 20th, it's up almost 26%. So this could be another play you could look at if you want to short it. But yeah, so tons of different plays out there, tons of different opportunities. Looks like this is another inverse one as well. Looks Looks like it's priced a little bit higher. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you think down below. Are you an investor into Msty? How many shares do you currently own? Are you reinvesting those shares? Would love to hear your feedback.